This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. This is the most recent Middle-earth film and is set in the Peter Jackson universe. So it is connected to the Peter Jackson Hobbit trilogy and Lord of the Rings trilogy, and the upcoming Gollum movie. Well, Hunt for Gollum movie specifically, but just so you don't get confused with the beloved Gollum game from last year. I hope you can tell the sarcasm I have in my voice is extreme sarcasm. So, going to this movie specifically, this tells a tale of Rohan when it was attacked by the Easterling wolf, and alongside the Easterlings, he also hires a lot of Haradrim. It is mainly, from the lore stuff I know, accurate, besides the ending where Hera does survive. And, well, first off, her name was completely invented for this because all we know about her is her. Well, she was the daughter of Helm Hammerhand, and he killed Wolf's father over him wanting his son to marry her. Didn't even know her name, and they had to make it up for the movie. And honestly, this is a really solid movie. It has a lot of really good scenes, and I'd say the artwork is, especially for the backgrounds, is really great. There's a few times where it genuinely looked like it was just a live action shot, and I think it did a really great job. The animation was really solid. The battles were great, and it definitely does something different where the Battle of Helm's Deep from the Two Towers is considered one of, if not the best battles to ever be in a fictional movie, and, well, really any movie. It's one of the best battles to be depicted in film history, and this one it is the Siege of Helm's Deep instead, or the Hornburg at this time, because it is not named Helm's Deep until after it is having the location of Helm's famous last stand, where he manages to fight everyone off and eventually dies to the weather. I think that's almost exactly how it happens in the books. And I don't remember the lore perfectly, but I do remember that he wasn't able to be taken down by really any weapons. I also do like that Aowen is the one who is narrating it, and the fact that at the end they have a small cameo from Saruman, and they do use a line from Sir Christopher Lee that he recorded for the Hobbit trilogy. Is It's honestly just a really nice touch. Christopher Lee is he's just an incredible actor, and although he's been dead for almost 10 years, it's honestly just really surprising to me that they actually used a voice line from him. And it was just a nice little surprise at the end. There was also the tease of Gandalf, although Sir Ian McKellen doesn't return for a cameo in this. And the one thing major thing they changed was the character of Hera is alive at the end. The entire reason that the second line does begin, and there's a line that leads up to Theoden. You would have seen this discussed also in my Helm's Deep expansion video from last week, and not yet last week, yesterday. But in that, the entire thing was honestly just really cool. It was interesting to see, but as I was saying, in the original story, that Helm and all of his kids are killed in this, and that leads to the second line of kings that leads up to Theoden, and when he dies, his line of kings is ended, and the third begins with Eomer. But honestly, this is a it's just honestly a really well told story. The animation is great, and they obviously had to make up a lot of stuff because this is a another thing where it's just explained over a few pages. So from what I remember seeing when people were talking about trailers and stuff, that Helm going and finding Wolf's father is fairly accurate, and just from what I could remember, his last stand and death is also pretty accurate. And then, of course, them calling it Helm's Deep after Helm is in honor of him, and his horn is used to just frighten his enemies. I like how they're able to use psychological warfare against the enemy, and they went and used the eagle to, well, once again, use the eagles as a Deus Ex Machina. It is this sort of a thing with, well, people notice with it, and I think they always expect the eagles to come in to save the day. And the only thing I said is kind of wishes they went a little more accurate and did kill Hera to have a more of a tragedy at the end, but I'm fine with her surviving, especially since they still set up the new line of kings and just have to explain that is because she doesn't want to take the crown and she also doesn't want to have any heirs, so that line would end with her ultimately. And yeah, honestly, I think that it's just a really solid movie. It is really fun and enjoyable to watch, and it definitely sticks true to everything I know from the story from Tolkien. Yes, there are some things that are changed, but that is the exact same thing that is done with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and having one character survive is nowhere near as outrageous a thing as changing the thing where Sam leaves Frodo, which I don't know, that's just one of the only problems with the trilogy, but just going with this, it was such a great time to watch, and I had a really good time when I went to the theater. I initially got a War of the Rohirrim mug that they were selling, but when I got out, I decided to buy the Hammer of Helm Hammerhand since they were also selling that. And I'll have a video about that. I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. Depends on when I have a chance to record it because I'm going to be out basically all day today. And yeah, honestly, I just really enjoyed this, and I think they did such a great job making it. I think that it was a really solid film, and it gives me hope that The Hunt for Gollum could be a very good movie since there's a little more development with that story, and basically have a broad overview. And I also know what not to do because that's essentially the story that the Gollum game also decided to cover. So, yeah, honestly, just some final thoughts. I think that I like Helm's madness and him just going on this absolute murder spree, and then at the end, him having just that epic last stand. I do like the character. I think that also the one of the Rohirrim who betrays Helm is, I think, is a lot that he just looks so much like Theoden, and I think they're trying to make you think that he is Theoden's ancestor, and that's where the twist is put in. I also think that the entire thing with Mordor looking for rings, honestly, it felt pretty forced. And just to make sure they have a connection to the Lord of the Rings. And, I don't know, maybe we could have had some nice scene at the end where we have Eowyn telling this story to her kids and she's alongside Faramir. They don't even need to, have him speak. They could just have the two characters together. And yeah, honestly, it was a really solid story. And as I said, I do enjoy it. I think that also the final battle with Wolf was a really solid one, and I do like that she was able to defeat him. And it does make sense that, well, all of these characters definitely have to die because they need to have that second line set up, but it makes sense that after they die, because I know that Helm dies before the battle is over, that he ultimately does have to go and leave one person behind, and that is Hera, who is really the only person who could lead them, since she's the only one who really has and have like noble blood in her there. So it does make sense for that. And I don't know, another minor complaint is it felt a lot like a Worm Tongue situation where they went and had the I don't remember his name, but it's essentially Theoden's extremely great grandfather, not extremely great, like probably great grandfather. Because I don't remember exactly how many are in the second line, but I think it might be up to 16, or it might have been 16 total Kings of Rohan. So I might be confusing numbers a little bit in my head, but him just sort of being sent to just outside the Pass of the Dead. I can't think of the location's name right now. It was interesting, and I think they also went and had a few things that also felt a little forced. I think that the entire thing with the Watcher in the water, that was just totally unnecessary, and it probably should have just been removed from the movie, or maybe just added into an extended edition. I think they did say they were gonna potentially release an extended edition of this, so I'm interested to see what they do with that and see if maybe they add Gandalf and a few other characters in. Because, no, that's also just a really weird thing to think with that. So far, the only character that's appeared in now every released Middle Earth movie is Saruman, and, well, the actor's dead. So, yeah, honestly, I'm wondering why they didn't have Ian McKellen come in and record like 5 lines. And I'm sure they had to pay a good amount of money to Christopher Lee's family to be able to put that line in, and I don't know. It's just interesting thing to see, and I do hope this movie does well. It is a solid entry into the Middle Earth franchise, but I feel like the fact that it's animated might hurt a lot. But yeah, honestly, it just gives you an appreciation for the characters of Middle Earth, and I think it is made significantly different enough from the Battle of Helm's Deep that you aren't thinking, why are they just essentially recreating it? And I do like that, just the explanation to why Gondor doesn't show up, so people aren't like they have this treaty and we don't have this where was Gondor when the Westfold fell kind of speech where I just have the fact that Helm isn't going to ask for help, and by the time he is willing to, there is no way for him to be able to ask for it. But yeah, honestly, really solid movie. I really enjoyed it, and I want to know what you think. Please leave me in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.